Welcome to Let Me Know How It Is, a podcast about all things geek. This is part one of our March Madness tournament, where the panel combs through 64 of their favorite animated shows to crown their favorite cartoon of all time. You can find the bracket on letmeknowhowitis.com if you'd like to follow along, and while you're there, or however you're listening, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now, on with the show. All right, we have our own brand of March Madness over here at Let Me Know How It Is. We're holding a tournament to crown among the panel our favorite cartoon of all time. I'm Zach Slater.
I'm Frank Melman.
I'm Tommy Smithereens.
I'm Clifton.
Okay, just so everyone knows, you may notice the sound is a little bit different on this one. That's because we're all conferencing in from undisclosed locations. So, okay, this is how the tournament's going to work. Each of us sent Tommy a list of our 16 favorite cartoons. These are only TV series, no movies on this. And from there, we assembled a bracket of 64 shows with 5 shows that are automatically top seeds. Those 5 shows are Batman the Animated Series, Spectacular Spider-Man, Gargoyles, Young Justice, and Justice League Unlimited that we're counting as one show. So we'll go through each matchup and vote on which show will move on until we get down to one winner. Clifton, Frank, and I have not seen the bracket. Only Tommy has because he's the one who assembled it. And I think that was, essentially that was to maintain some spontaneity, right, Tommy?
Yeah, I wanted you guys' gut reaction.
All right. You can see the bracket on letmeknowhowitis.com if you want to follow along. Also, and you're going to be, and we'll post also each of our individual lists on there as well. So, Tommy, this was your idea, so I'm going to give you the wheel. So the bridge is yours.
Okay, guys, thank you all for your submissions. Again, I'd like to add this is all personal choices that you guys made. Clearly, it wasn't defined by only the rules of being an anime series that we enjoy personally. We have 64 choices, thanks to our engineer who added a little bit more to what was listed just because we had overlaps, because, of course, we have favorite choices that we all enjoy. In this first round, guys, we're going to have 32 different choices, okay? And I want it to be a little bit of a lightning round. So after you get the choice, I'll be timing you just in case you go over the limit of 15 seconds just to keep it moving because you guys have a lot of choices to make. And again, it's your gut reaction. If you want to think about it a little bit, just let me know. But more or less, I think this will go along smoothly if you just choose what you think is right for your own vote. Okay.
So basically, we're on the clock.
Oh, yeah. Just for the first and second rounds. After that, the choice will be definitely harder. And I won't be timing you at all. It was more along the lines of which do you think is better, which will be definitely harder in the third round. Okay.
All right.
You ready, Clifton?
I'm ready.
All right, Zach, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, great. What I'm gonna do is look through the brackets, which I have in front of me, and the first choice you're gonna have to choose between is Batman the Animated Series versus My Little Pony. I have Batman the Animated Series versus My Little Pony. Okay, first I'm gonna start off with Frank.
I would have to say I would go with Batman the Animated Series. as much as I enjoy Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy and the rest of the ponies, I would have to choose Batman the Animated Series.
Okay, me be part of the voting choice as well. I'm gonna choose Batman the Animated Series as well. Clifton, what do you think?
Are we talking original My Little Ponies or My Little Ponies Friendship is Magic?
We have Friendship is Magic by Lauren Faust, if I'm not mistaken.
Is a good one, but I'm still going with Batman the Animated Series.
And Zach, what do you want to pick between Batman the Animated Series and My Little Pony?
I've not seen a frame of My Little Pony. So
sure you haven't.
I'm
right.
Maybe I'll love it if I've seen it, but I'm gonna go with Batman the Animated Series.
Okay. All right. First round knockout, a disappointment to all bronies all over. Batman the Animated Series is advancing. Okay. Next one in round one.
All the bronies shut this off quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think they'll stop listening.
Just save that matchup for later.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we have Pinky and the Brain versus SpongeBob SquarePants. Which did it better? Zach, if you don't mind, would you make the first decision towards Pinky and the Brain versus SpongeBob SquarePants?
Okay. That's easy. Pinky and the Brain for me.
Okay. All right. Clifton, what is your choices between Pinky and the Brain and SpongeBob SquarePants?
I've actually never watched much SpongeBob. I've only seen a little bit,
Wow.
which is hard to say. But yeah, we got to go with Pinky and the Brain. I just used to enjoy it all the time.
Wow. Pinky and the Brain gets two votes actually. SpongeBob SquarePants that's the clear choice for me. How about you, Frank? What do you choose?
Well, I've seen more memes of SpongeBob than I actually have seen episodes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to go with Pinky and the Brain.
Okay. So that's 3 for Pinky and the Brain and 1 for SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Pinky and the Brain advances. Wow. Over SpongeBob SquarePants.
So I do have a question.
That's
Did Pinky and the Brain have their own show, or were they just always part of Animaniacs?
They started off as Animaniacs, and then they split off to have their own show, which is Pinky and the Brain. That's what I took from
Okay,
the
I
list
could
that I
not
received.
remember that.
Yeah, and then they spun off to Pinky and the Brain and Elmira.
Yes.
That's
Which is
right.
like the last iteration of that show.
I
Yes,
do
you did.
remember that one now. I do remember that.
Yeah.
All right. Next up for round 1, we have Gravity Falls versus The Amazing World of Gumball. Gravity Falls versus The Amazing World of Gumball. Clifton, you're up. Which is your first choice for the series?
I mean, this one's tougher because I like both of them. Like, I like Amazing World of Gumball. Like, I like the look. I like the animation. I like the humor. But I just like the characters and situations on Gravity Falls more.
Okay. So 1 for Gravity Falls. For me, I'm picking Gumball. I love Gumball. So 1 for Gravity Falls, 1 for Gumball.
Wow.
Frank.
Again, it's a tough one for me. I've not seen as much Gravity Falls as I have Gumball, but what I've seen of both of them, I like a whole lot.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Gumball. I like situations. I like the kids. I like the kid humor on it, and I think it's a pretty good show. So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. 2 for Gumball, 1 for Gravity Falls. Zach,
Wow.
what is your take on that?
Okay. I'm complicating things up here a little bit because Gravity Falls, I think, is the most unassuming show that I wasn't ready for, which I absolutely love. So I'm going Gravity Falls all the way.
Okay, so we had our first tie. 2 for Gravity Falls, 2 for Gumball.
But
Okay.
I'm not sure our tiebreaker has seen either.
In the event of a tiebreaker, which I didn't put in the rules, is our glorious engineer in the background is going to make a decision concerning the two. He's going to be the decision breaker for all tiebreakers that we're going to have between the 4 of us. So if you could, please choose what you like better, sir. Gravity Falls or Gumball.
I choose Gravity Falls.
Oh my God. Oh, and Gravity Falls advances.
Woo!
Wow. That is crazy. You guys need to watch more Gumball. Next
That was
up,
scary.
next up is Samurai Jack or Freakazoid. Which did you
Ooh.
enjoy better, Samurai Jack
Wow.
or Freakazoid? Me, to be quite honest, I love both, but I have to bring the nod to Samurai Jack because I love Freakazoid for it being innovative and a superhero, but I've seen every damn episode of Samurai Jack. That's my point. That's gonna be my choice. Samurai Jack is gonna be my choice. Frank, what's your choice?
Well, this is a choice that smells like poo gas to me. Because I love, I mean, Samurai Jack is amazing for the characters and for the settings and for the backgrounds, and Freakazoid is just a really, really great superhero comedy cartoon. Having said that, I think Samurai Jack is more of a classic, so I'm gonna go with Samurai Jack.
Okay. Nah, you just barely bet the buzzer.
Okay, very good. At the buzzer, I'll go Samurai Jack.
Yes, Samurai Jack. 2 for Samurai Jack. Zach, what do you pick?
I love both, but I think, sorry, Freakazoid fans, I think Samurai Jack is the more important show of the two.
Okay.
So I'm going to say Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 for Samurai Jack. And what do you say, Clifton?
I'm going to be the outlier. I'm going Freakazoid.
Okay.
Wow.
Samurai Jack advances.
Basically, because I love Candlejack.
Yeah, funny, very funny show. Okay, next up, round 1, we have Steven Universe or Phineas and Ferb. Steven Universe
Oh,
Ferb. Zach, first choice, okay?
oh my God. I got to go first on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man, this one's hard.
Yeah, Steven Universe or Phineas and Ferb. And the buzzer starts now, Zach. The
Oh
timer
my
starts now.
God. I want to say pass, but oh my God. Okay. Yeah. gut instinct, I'm gonna say Steven Universe.
Okay, Steven
Yeah.
Universe it is. One for Steven Universe. Clifton, what's your choice?
I enjoy both of the shows a lot, but Steven Universe I just like more.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Steven Universe for my pick as well. It's no brainer to me. And Frank, what's your choice?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen a frame of either one of them.
Oh, okay. Both are musical shows. Steven
Okay.
Universe deals with more adult issues than Phineas and Ferb.
Uh-huh.
Phineas and Ferb is Disney's very lighthearted musical, which they do a
Okay.
new song for every episode. Ironically enough, it's
Yeah.
interesting that the most musical shows on our list go head to head in the first round.
Okay.
So I already cast my vote, so I'm biased. I don't want to create a bias with you as well.
It's
Yeah.
charmingly innocent.
Yes, it
Fair
is.
enough.
Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah.
But
Fair enough.
just
Go
to
ahead.
let you know, Frank, sorry to interrupt you. At this point, you couldn't change the outcome of this one.
Fine. I'll go with Steven Universe.
Steven Universe unanimously moves forward.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah. I know that's a blow to Zach.
I just died a little inside. It hurts so bad.
Next up, round one, we have Batman: The Brave and the Bold versus He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Oh wow.
Is that the 80s or the remake that they did for
No,
Cartoon
Bert.
Network?
This is the original version.
Okay.
So it's going to be the original version of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe versus Batman: The Brave and the Bold. Clifton, you're the first to make a decision.
This one's a tough call too, because
It is.
the Masters of the Universe made me late for first grade every day when I walked to school and would wait for it to be over. But better show, Brave and the Bold. It's so much fun.
Okay. One vote goes for Brave and the Bold. Me.
Yes.
Yes, I'm trying to think. I love He-Man. I grew up on He-Man. But I have to say, Brave and the Bold is going to be a capture in Batman's history that we never get in different iterations of He-Man. So I'm going to go with Batman: Brave and the Bold for my choice. Frank, what is your choice in this?
Well, the funny thing is, I had He-Man as listed as one of my favorites, and then
Yes.
and now that I think about it, I didn't even think about Batman: Brave and the Bold for some reason.
It's okay. It's okay. That's okay.
And now seeing them side by side, as much as I love, the old Filmation He-Man, it to me it's nowhere near as cool as like Batman: The Brave and the Bold, because Batman: Brave and the Bold has every bit of, Batman in it, like superhero to hero to all of it. I'm going to go with Batman: Brave and the Bold.
Okay, one more vote for Batman: Brave and the Bold. And Zach, what is your choice?
Yeah. He-Man was like the very, very, very first cartoon I was into. Like so early that I don't have any memory of it. Essentially, I was a toddler.
Okay.
But I'm going with Brave and the Bold on this one. I think Brave and the Bold, like nobody was ready for that show.
No.
And it was
No.
the show like none of us knew we wanted, but we're so happy that it came out.
I was so down on it when I first saw that image, and then afterwards, I'm like, wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be at all.
I mean, the thought that came out the same year as The Dark Knight, right?
Wow.
It's the
Oh, yeah.
same year. We got two of those. We got those two versions of the character, and they're both great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Brave and the Bold. So Brave and the Bold.
Okay. Brave and the Bold advances. Next up, Superman the Animated Show, or series, excuse me, versus Symbiotic Titan. Animated show versus
Oh.
Symbiotic Titan. I'm going to choose Superman. I love Superman. I'd argue to say I love him better than Batman. So my first vote, goes to Superman. Frank, who are you choosing?
I enjoyed Symbiotic Titan. I thought it was, it was fun, and it had some cool, stuff, cool animation to it.
Mhm.
But overall, I mean, it's one of those. I remember distinctly watching on my birthday the premiere of Superman the Animated Series, and to this day, I still think it's one of the best adaptation of his origin ever, whether it's in film or outside of comics. I have to go with Superman the Animated Series.
Great.
Again at the buzzer.
At the buzzer, yes. Okay. Another one for Superman, two for Superman. Zach, what is your vote?
Okay, so I got to say this first.
Okay.
I love Symbiotic Titan. I want to get that across to everybody listening. I love Symbiotic Titan. But Superman the Animated Series is the show that made me fall in love with Superman. So, Superman.
Okay, 3 for Superman.
Yeah.
And Clifton. We know where it's going for the win, but we still want to hear your vote, sir.
I'm just to say that was Sophie's choice for Zach right there.
Oh,
And so I'm going to go again with to be the outlier with Symbiotic Titan. Like, I love the style, I love the animation, I love their use of music in later episodes. So that's my pick.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Superman advances.
this
Next,
show's gonna give me an ulcer.
next up is Transformers versus Muppet Babies.
Oh my god!
Frank, can you start us off with the first vote, sir?
Well, I discussed in earlier episodes the fact that, I used to, when I lived in South Texas, I had to watch Transformers, on the Bozo Show out of Chicago, 7 minutes, 8 minutes at a time in order to watch it.
Vote, sir.
And I loved it. Yeah, it was my show. Again, it was my show that would have made me late for school. So I would go Transformers.
Sure.
I love the Muppet Babies, but still.
Okay. Zach, you?
Another hard one. Oh my god, this is stressing me out. But I'm gonna go Muppet Babies on this one.
Wow.
I love Muppet Babies.
This is true.
Tell me, you on Gummy Bears? It's me. Muppet Babies is mine. Is my version of that. I love Muppet Babies.
I knew this.
What's your what's your choice?
So my choice now.
Yes.
I'm going with Transformers. 'Cause
There you go.
I was just blown away when I saw that the first time as a kid.
Oh, I agree. Okay. And I'm the last choice, or last vote, excuse me. It's gonna go for Transformers.
There you go.
Transformers wins 3-1 over Muppet Babies.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm
Zach.
fine.
It's okay.
Sorry, Scooter and Skeeter.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
Animal like Transformers.
Next up, we're gonna have Young Justice versus Powerpuff Girls. Young Justice versus Powerpuff Girls. Zach, I believe this is the easier choice for you to make.
I forgot all about Powerpuff Girls. That's right.
Yes,
This is the
thank-
original.
should
This is
be
the
the
original. I'm assuming, not the new one,
Yes.
right?
Yes, this is the original. Thanks to our
Okay.
engineer. Powerpuff Girls made the list.
That's right. I love Powerpuff Girls, but I'm going Young Justice.
Young
Hard
Justice.
Young Justice on this one. Yeah.
Okay, one for Young Justice. Clifton, what are you voting for?
I'm going with Young Justice as well. I love the Powerpuff Girls characters. I love them, but like Young Justice, I just love everything about that show.
Okay, 2 for Young Justice. Next up, me. Young Justice. 3 for Young Justice. Hey, Frank, can you round it out?
Oh, it's a fair sweep. It's a full sweep. I'm gonna go with Young Justice as well.
4 for 1 for Young Justice. Not to say Powerpuff Girls is a bad cartoon,
No.
but we all love Young Justice. Next up, TMNT, and this is the 80s version. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that debuted in 1980.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
87.
80 specifically 87. TMNT versus Archer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, does
Oh.
everyone Zach, I believe you're the last one to make the choice. So Clifton, the decision goes to you first. Who are you picking?
I've actually not watched much Archer, so
Okay.
it's not the best pick, but I'm going with Turtles because I have seen all of that.
Okay. I'm the next choice on that one. That's going to be because Archer made my list. So you know what? I'm gonna throw Mikey Wrench in. Archer. I vote for Archer. Frank, what's your choice?
Let me think here. Give me a sec. I would have to go with. I'm gonna go with Archer. Actually, I'm gonna go with the Archer on that one.
One.
I like the Turtles, but I like the characters more than I do the actual.
Oh my
series.
god.
Okay, and now, ironically enough, Zach.
I can't believe this is happening. I cannot believe this is happening because Turtles was my life
I know.
for like 5 years.
Yes.
I'm well aware.
So I'm doing a hard Turtles, but I know which way our engineer's gonna go. So
And the tiebreaker from our engineer. Who do you choose? 1987's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is iconic, or Archer?
It definitely has to be Archer.
Archer advances. Archer.
I knew it. I knew.
This
Oh
is a
my
real-
god.
Upset. I know this is breaking
Ugh.
Zach's heart, but
Yeah.
I need a drink.
Okay, next up. Next choice. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the original, versus Pirates of Darkwater.
Oh.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends versus Pirates of Darkwater. Now, this is a hard choice for me because Jungle Longo, Pirates of Darkwater, I love. But at that time, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends had the only outlet for Marvel superheroes. So it's for pure nostalgic purposes, which, mind you, did not make my list. It's Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends for the first vote. Clifton.
See, this one's hard for me because both of these were on my list.
Yes, they were.
I submitted both of these. But I got to go with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends because it was absolutely my introduction to Spider-Man and all things Marvel that I've loved ever since.
Yes. 2 for Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, none for Pirates of Darkwater. Zach, what's your choice?
I gotta plead ignorance on this one. I have not watched a ton of either, really.
Okay, that's fine.
But I know Spider-Man. I'm familiar with him. I know his work. So I'm gonna go with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Okay. Frank, you would like to cast a vote, make it a
Sure, I'll make it a clean sweep. It's Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
okay.
You know, I still to this day think of Seven Little Superheroes. which
Oh,
is a
yeah.
big team of one.
Yes.
How the chameleon pulls it off, I don't really understand to this day. But still, it's Seven Little Superheroes, and that's from that show, as well as it gave us Firestar.
It did.
That's where we get Firestar. So I'm gonna go with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Okay. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends advances 4-0. Wow. I know it broke your heart, Clifton, but a choice had to be made. Okay. Continuing on with round 1. After the glorious advancement of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, we have G.I. Joe versus Bionic 6. G.I. Joe versus Bionic 6, which is a favorite of mine. Clifton.
And has a great theme song.
It has a beautiful theme song. Clifton, would you start the first round of voting?
See, I thought about putting Bionic 6 on my list as an entry, but I didn't put G.I. Joe on there either. I didn't put either of these on, but I do like both. I'm going to go with G.I. Joe just because like it meant more to me when I was a kid and just getting into cartoons.
Okay, 1 vote for G.I. Joe. Next up, Zach.
This is original G.I. Joe, right?
Yes.
This isn't Renegades or Resolute or anything,
Nope, just original
right?
G.I. Joe.
Okay.
Greatest
Yeah, both of
American
these are
hero.
not on my list either. I love G.I. Joe. I don't know what Bionic 6 is. I got to Google that when we're done. So I'm going to G.I. Joe.
2 for G.I. Joe. Frank,
No contest, G.I. Joe.
which is surprisingly because it's on your list.
Yes.
So we have 3 for G.I. Joe. And plus, since Bionic 6 was on my list, I'm doing 1 for Bionic 6. So
All right.
G.I. Joe advances 3-1.
Yo, Joe.
Next up, we have Spectacular Spider-Man versus Ren and Stimpy. Spectacular Spider-Man versus Ren and Stimpy. Frank, would you like to make the decision on this one?
Sure. I'll go first.
Okay.
Ren Stimpy is an important cartoon, but it doesn't do it for me quite the way that Spectacular Spider-Man does. I have to go with Spectacular Spider-Man.
I like to vote in as well. I'm going to vote for Spectacular Spider-Man. Clifton, what would you like to choose?
I mean, I love Spider-Man, so I got to go Spider-Man almost all the time. Not all the time, almost all the time. And Spectacular Spider-Man is great.
Zach, what's your choice?
Yeah, I agree with Frank. I think Ren and Stimpy is a great, important show, but for me, it doesn't quite work after the first couple of seasons. Whereas Spectacular Spider-Man is fantastic all the way through, and I wish we got more. And we got to see Cheeks' beautiful design work. Sean Galloway, aka Cheeks. So Spectacular Spider-Man, this one, pretty easy for me.
Great. Next up, we have Dungeons and Dragons versus Johnny Quest. Dungeons and Dragons versus Johnny Quest. I'll start the voting.
It's a hard one.
It is
That is
hard,
tough.
but
Not for
I'll
me.
go. I'll go with Dungeons and Dragons. Frank, what would you like to pick?
Well, this was on my list. It's one of those, I think, it's amazing it hasn't been rebooted or redone at this point or a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Johnny Quest, and I feel it's an important show that it's tough these two are going head to head. But I'm gonna go with, just because it's in my heart, I'm gonna go with Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. Dungeons and Dragons has 2 votes. Zach, what's your pick?
Wow. I'm disappointed in you, Frank. Oh my god. This is easy for me. This is so easy. This is Johnny Quest
sure.
for sure.
Okay.
Well, you never saw Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Nope, don't need to.
Oh.
I had Johnny Quest.
Okay. Okay.
Not for long.
All right. Hey, Clifton, what is your decision?
No, I love Dungeons and Dragons, and like I just remember it getting so dark when I was a kid.
Yes.
Yes.
But like I gotta go Johnny Quest. It's my
Oh.
Oh, another tie. 2 for Dungeons and Dragons, 2 for Johnny Quest. Our engineer, sir, what is your decision in this tie-breaking matter?
Easy. Johnny Quest.
Ah.
That probably helps you between you and Zach as far as what you did to him earlier.
Yes.
Johnny Quest advances. Wow, that was gut wrenching. Wow.
Yes. That was tough.
Okay, next up, Zach, I'm gonna choose you to do the vote between the real Ghostbusters or Futurama. The real Ghostbusters
Oh wow.
or Futurama. What's your pick?
A lot of listeners are gonna lose respect for me on this one. I haven't watched a whole lot of Futurama. I really haven't.
Okay.
And I have it recommended to me almost on a daily basis. But I'm gonna go with Real Ghostbusters.
Okay, 1 for real Ghostbusters.
Nostalgia's tough to beat.
Yes.
Frank, what's your decision?
Again, this is another tough one. Futurama's got some really like get you right in the feelings episodes with Fry and the rest of them. Real Ghostbusters was on my list. I was a huge Ghostbusters fan as a kid. This is the closest thing as having a continuation of the movie until we got the sequel
Mm-hmm.
in 88 or 89. I'll just go with Real Ghostbusters.
Real Ghostbusters. 2 for real Ghostbusters. Futurama was on my list. So I'm picking Futurama just because I got to represent. I love Ghostbusters, but I've seen way more episodes of Futurama than Real Ghostbusters, unfortunately. Clifton, what's your vote on this matter?
I'm going with Real Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Real Ghostbusters was like a yokai anime before anyone in America knew what yokai anime is, and that joke is only for Tommy because the others won't get it.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
What's that? What does that mean?
has to do
Speak
with
English.
ghosts.
Is that even English? What is that?
Real Ghostbusters gets advanced forward over Futurama.
Mm.
Woo. That's sad in the
Controversial.
It is very controversial.
Get hate
Extreme.
mail.
Yes.
Next up, we have Star Wars Clone Wars versus Space Ghost. Space Ghost Coast to Coast or Space
No.
Ghost?
Space Ghost.
Original Space Ghost. I never asked. I apologize. Original Space Ghost versus Star Wars The Clone Wars. And specifically, it's Gendy's version of Star Wars Clone Wars. Let me make that clear.
Oh yes, not the CGI one. The
Not
Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Okay.
This appeared on Zach's list.
Yes, it did.
Clifton, you made the last choice. I'll make you make the first choice.
All right. I got to go with. I love Space Ghost, but I got to go with Clone Wars.
Okay. First vote goes to Clone Wars. Zach, what is your vote?
Okay, this is harder too because I forgot about Space Ghost. But I mean, so I'm going to go Star Wars for sure, but Space Ghost needs a reboot cartoon.
Okay.
So somebody out there, if anybody out there has the ability to make that happen, Space Ghost, please, somebody.
Vote goes to Star Wars Clone Wars. Frank, what is your choice?
Well, I've only seen some of Gendy's Clone Wars. I haven't seen all of it, so I'm not quite as bullish on it as some people. But
Huh?
Space Ghost, it's the truth. Space Ghost, I'm gonna vote for. I mean, you can't go wrong with that Alex Toth design. It's amazing. I loved it as a kid. Still love it now. But that's my
Okay.
vote. I go with Space Ghost.
Okay. 2 for Clone Wars, 1 for Space Ghost. And unfortunately, I got to advance Clone Wars. Space Ghost, but Gendy's Clone Wars is what made the prequels, the second prequel, great. His additions to the live actions was based upon what he designed in that cartoon. Great action sequence. So I have to go with Clone Wars.
I'm stunned. I'm not stunned by Frank by your vote. I'm more stunned by the fact you said you haven't seen it all the way through.
Yeah.
We've been
Yeah.
friends forever. I can't.
Yeah.
I have not. I'm at loss for words. I can't get it out.
I got to bring you back.
It's true.
Zach. We got to get through this list, man.
All right.
Got to bring you
It's a
back.
fact. Sorry.
Oh wow.
Amazing revelations on future episodes. But next up, we have Justice League Unlimited versus BoJack Horseman. League Unlimited versus BoJack Horseman. I'm going to start that vote. Justice League Unlimited, just because I've seen multiple images of this cartoon, and BoJack is depressing as hell. Frank, what's your choice?
Justice League Unlimited.
Justice League Unlimited for 2. Zach, you?
Yeah, Justice League Unlimited. This is a squash match. That was my gateway drug to the DC universe. Like,
3 for Justice League Unlimited. Justice League. Clifton, what's your vote?
Justice League as well. I just love seeing all the characters, especially in Justice League Unlimited, that we got to see in action.
Indeed. Next up, Transformers Beast Wars versus Doug. Transformers versus Doug. Frank, what's your choice?
Beast Wars.
Thank you, Frank. Zach, you're up.
Doug, 100% all the way.
Yeah. Clifton, what's yours?
I'm going with Doug.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. All right, Mike, you ready for a tiebreaker? Because I'm definitely going with Beast Wars. Glorious Engineer, what is your decision, Beast Wars or Doug?
I am going with Doug.
Yeah.
Doug advances to the next round due to the decision-making process of our engineer. Wow.
Wow.
I'm deeply depressed right now, guys.
Yes, me too.
Wow. Who would have thought Doug could beat Transformers? Okay.
I would. Doug was on my list, everybody.
Oh.
Clearly.
And Beast Wars was on mine.
Yeah.
All right, continuing on with round 1, we have Avatar Legend of Korra versus Superman, the Ruby Spears version. We have Legend of Korra versus Superman, the Ruby Spears version. Zach, I haven't heard from you in a while. You want to start us off first?
Legend of Korra. I love Legend of Korra.
Okay.
Beautiful show.
I have to go with the Superman Ruby Spears version. It was on my list.
It was.
I was a huge fan of it. I'm a huge fan of the depiction of Luthor. It's pretty much around the same time of Man of Steel and Burns doing it. So it's much more of a businessman Luthor, and the way he is depicted is awesome. Korra, I never finished. I still haven't finished Korra.
Okay. One each. My choice is going to go for Korra because the animated series makes me forget about the Ruby Spears version. So that's 2 for Korra, 1 for Superman. Clifton, what's your choice?
Well, Korra was on my list, so I'm definitely going with that one. I just love the world that they created for that series and all the characters.
Okay, Korra advances 3-1. Next up, we have Challenge of the Super Friends versus Infinity Train. Challenge of versus Infinity Train.
So me versus Frank.
Basically.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
And that's where we're going to start with Clifton. Okay, Clifton, what's your choice?
Ooh, this is a tough one. But I got to go with Challenge of the Super Friends because that was my introduction to all the DC characters when I was a kid.
Okay. 1 vote goes for Challenge of the Super Friends. I'm going to intervene and add my vote. I prefer Challenge of the Super Friends. Infinity Train is still being written, so it could tank its landing. But Challenge of the Future Friends is probably the darkest version we'll ever see of these characters, bar none. So 2 goes for Challenge of the Super Friends. Frank, what's your decision?
I haven't seen Infinity Train, but I would still go with Challenge of the Super Friends. I remember distinctly being out on a trip
Okay.
with my family, getting back, and like friends of mine being like, "Oh my God, there's a Legion of Doom," even though we didn't know that was the name of the villains group. Tell me how
Yes.
that was going to be a cartoon on Saturday mornings, and I was super excited to see it. So, Challenge of the Super Friends.
Okay, and Zach, what's your vote?
So I know Challenge of the Super Friends is iconic, but it's, send your hate mail. It's not a sacred cow to me at all. At all. I go Infinity Train on this. I'm just so impressed with Infinity Train. I love it so much. I recommend it to anybody.
Okay.
I wish it would go further, but it's I know it's not now.
Challenge of the Super Friends has advanced.
Woohoo!
Next up, Venture Brothers versus Simpsons. Venture Brothers.
Oh God.
And we're going to have Frank start this voting process off. Frank,
Oh my God, this is tough.
the buzzer starts now for you, man.
I'm ready. Okay.
Timer.
I love The Simpsons. I remember seeing the shorts in Georgetown a million years ago when it was still part of the Tracy Ullman show.
Mhm. 4
Um,
seconds.
Venture Brothers.
Venture Brothers. Zach, what's your choice?
Yeah, we could do an episode just on these two against each other. This is really hard.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yes.
I quote Simpsons every day,
Yes, you
but
do.
I also haven't watched it in probably 15 years. Venture Brothers is still getting better to me, in my opinion. So I'm going Venture Brothers on this.
All right.
Okay. Super Venture Brothers. Clifton, what's your decision?
Venture Brothers is on my list, so it's definitely Venture Brothers.
Wow.
That one.
And I don't think I voted as well, so it has to be Venture Brothers for me as well.
Wow.
Wow.
Clean sweeps The Simpsons.
Nope.
Wow.
Nobody than the Simpsons. Wow.
Watch Venture Brothers. This is the gateway into it because we love it better than The Simpsons.
Shush.
Next up is the Canadian series Reboot, which is computer generated. I'm sure not too many people heard of it. Versus The Boondocks. Reboot versus The Boondocks. Zach, what is your choice?
Well, okay. I'm shocked that both of these on here. I was not ready for either of these. Boondocks is just so good. It wasn't on my list, but I mean, God, there's so many fantastic episodes of Boondocks. So I'm going Boondocks.
Okay, one vote for Boondocks. Clifton, what's your vote for Reboot or Boondocks?
Now, these are both, I think, groundbreaking shows for very different reasons.
Yeah.
I remember Reboot first coming on, but I got to go with Boondocks.
Okay, 2 for Boondocks. They were both on my list, unfortunately. It's a travesty I have to pick between the two. Boondocks. I love Reboot, but Boondocks is a solid show that we arguably might not get again in the same vein, due to Witherspoon dying.
Oh, that's right.
Frank, what is your vote?
I know of Reboot. I've never actually seen it, so I'm gonna go with the Boondocks.
Clean sweep for Boondocks. Next up, we have Rick and Morty versus Alf. Rick and Morty, Alf, the animated series.
As it should be.
There's a gut wrench for Clifton,
Right.
and I have to start it off with you, sir.
If it was just on the theme songs, it would be out.
But
I'm going to go Rick and Morty.
okay, Rick and Morty gets a vote. I also vote Rick and Morty. I love Alf, but I cannot tell you the plot for one other than the first episode. Love Alf the series, love the intro, like Clifton said. But I have to go Rick and Morty. 2 for Rick and Morty. Frank, what's your choice?
I remember distinctly the expansion of the world of Alf and what it was like for him to live on Melmac.
Mhm.
But for me, it's Rick and Morty.
3 for Rick and Morty. And Zach, what's your decision?
Alf, the cartoon, is not even my favorite version of Alf out there.
Okay.
I just watched it to get to Pro Stars that came on after.
I remember
that. The show with Wayne Gretzky and Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson. If you haven't heard of it, I'm sure you haven't heard of it. So I'm going Rick and Morty on this one.
All right, there you go.
I remember Pro Stars. Rick and Morty does a clean sweep over Alf. Yeah, but I remember Pro Stars.
Is that Tommy? Is that on the list?
Pro Stars was not on the list.
Okay, all right. There you go.
Okay.
Just to be sure.
Next up, we have Adventure Time versus Voltron, the Netflix version. Adventure Time versus Voltron, the Netflix version. I'm going to start off.
Legendary Defender.
I'm going to pick Adventure Time. I love Adventure Time. Frank, what's your choice?
I've only seen bits and pieces of Adventure Time. I know more of it like through just character stuff, but not actually seen it. I feel like a show that wasn't really for me, so I'm gonna go with Voltron. I like Voltron quite a bit. I think that was really good.
Okay. 1 for Adventure Time, 1 for Voltron. Zach, what's your choice?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I didn't really go to Adventure Time at first. I've grown to like it more over the years, and it is a show I want to get back and check out. But Voltron Legendary Defender is like probably my favorite show that didn't make my list, and so I'm happy it's on here. I really, really love that show. I'm impressed by it so much. So Voltron.
Wow. And Clifton, so far the vote is 2 for Voltron, 1 for Adventure Time. What is your vote, Cast?
I gotta go with Legendary Defender as well. Like, Legendary, like Voltron, somehow they gave us the show that we all thought we watched as a kid, but it wasn't really like that. And, like, it's great.
Wow. The sun drops out. Wow. That hurts my soul because eventually my list.
That's surprising though to me. Adventure Time's a very strong show. I've come to realize that, like over the time. That
If you guys ever get the possibility to watch Adventure Time, what makes that show great, in my opinion, is that it's one of the few cartoons that grew up with this audience. So check it out when you get the chance. Next up, we have Gargoyles versus South Park. Gargoyles versus I'm gonna start with Zach.
We're gonna get more hate mail on this one.
Oh,
yeah,
yep.
we are going to get hate mail on this one too because this is easy for me. This is Gargoyles, 100%. South Park stopped working for me in high school. I'm not into it anymore. Sorry if you are. I know it's still great, but not for me anymore.
One for Gargoyles. Frank, what's your vote?
I'm also gonna go with Gargoyles. I enjoyed South Park for what it is. I still feel like it's what it is at this point. Gargoyles to me is a classic, always will be. So I'll go with Gargoyles.
Okay, 2 for Gargoyles. Me, I love Gargoyles over South Park. South Park doesn't have that shine for me anymore. So Gargoyles 3. And Clifton, what's your vote?
It's a clean sweep. Gotta go with Gargoyles. I just love the storytelling in Gargoyles. I love the mythicness of it.
Yes.
Yeah, we've lost.
Gargoyles is great. There's a spotlight episode for Gargoyles in our back catalog if you guys want to check it out. That's how much we love the show. It was the first of our spotlight series. It's so good.
Yep.
Yeah, for all you lovers of South Park, I guess you guys stop tuning in now. So we apologize, but check out Gargoyles. Next up, we have The Tick versus X-Men Evolution. The Tick versus X-Men Evolution. Clifton, would you mind starting off our vote?
See, this one's hard because they were both on my list again.
Yes, they were. I recall. That's why I picked you.
I love X-Men Evolution, but I got to go with Tick just because, like, its humor was so good. So I go with Tick.
Okay, 1 for Tick. I'm gonna vote next, and my vote's going for X-Men Evolution just because I wasn't a huge fan of the '90s X-Men version, just because they had all the characters, but just in stories that a lot of characters I didn't see them as. But for X-Men Evolution, I felt that they corrected it and made it new. Plus, they introduced us to X23. So X-Men Evolution. Frank, what's yours?
I'm also going to go with. Let me think here. I think I'll go with X-Men Evolution.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Okay, continuing on with round 1. So far, the votes are 2 for X-Men Evolution, 1 for the Tick. Zach, you have the last vote. What's it going to be? The Tick or X-Men Evolution?
Tick theme song is one of my absolute favorite theme songs ever of any cartoon, but I think X-Men Evolution is probably the most underrated Marvel cartoon of all time. So X-Men Evolution.
Okay, X-Men Evolution advances over the Tick. Sorry, Clifton. They thought it wasn't that funny.
Well, they were both on my list though, so I'm not that heartbroken.
Good to hear. Next up, we have Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. versus Kim Possible. Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. versus Kim Possible. I'm gonna start the voting. I know this is gonna be a hard choice for Zach because he pushed Mystery Inc. on me to the point that he got other people to push it on me. You know what? Mystery Inc. Mystery Inc. Frank, what's your choice?
Well, Kim Possible is one of those shows I know of and like know character stuff, but I don't know. I've never watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm gonna go with Mystery Inc.
Okay, 2 for Mystery Inc. Zach, what's your choice?
So this is hard for me, sort of, because they were both on my list, but there was a lot in between them on this. So I'm going to go Mystery Inc. I push this show on so many people. I love seeing how crazy they think I am when I recommend a Scooby-Doo show for them. But I'm telling you, this show is so freaking good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Like it's got such a big story to it, which I know that most people would not expect. It's so good.
And Clifton, you get the last choice.
Kim Possible is good, but I'm a Scooby Doo mark, and Mystery Incorporated is a great version of Scooby Doo. So I got to go Mystery Incorporated.
Okay. Next up, we have Thundar the Barbarian versus Thundercats.
Oh,
And Frank, since we didn't hear from you in a while, started off.
Which version of Thundercats? The original?
I believe it was on Frank's list. Frank?
yeah, it would be the original,
Okay.
Okay.
not the reboot. No, not at all.
Or the one that's airing currently
Yeah,
now.
Thundercats Roar.
Thundercats Roar.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Just the original.
All right. So, what's your decision? Thundar the Barbarian or Thundercats?
It's
Right.
as much as I love the Thundercats, I think Thunder the Barbarian is one of those again. You've got Alex Toth, you got Jack Kirby. It's a world of science and sorcery, and I loved it. I still love it. I wish it would come back in some form. I'll go with Thunder the Barbarian.
Okay. Zach, what's your choice?
This is hard too because they're so similar. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
yeah, I gotta go just because of the pedigree on it. I gotta go with Thundar, and that's another one like Space Ghost. I wish it would come back also, Frank. Yeah,
Yes.
so
Okay.
Thundar.
2 for Thundar, none for Thundercats. Clifton, what's your choice?
Man, this is super tough. Super tough.
Yeah.
I love Ookla the Mock,
Yes.
Yeah.
but I got to go Thundercats.
Okay. Well, 2 for Thundar, 1 for Thundercats. Now I'm not revealing my age, but I'm going with the mob, and I'm gonna pick Thundercats.
Ooh.
So it's a tie. So our wonderful engineer, if you don't mind, would you be able to break this for us, sir?
Thundercats. Oh.
And
Ah,
Cats for
We
the
lost. We lost, Frank.
I know. Actually, Zach, the people lost, but it's all right.
Next up, we have Avatar: The Last Airbender versus Rocky and Bullwinkle. I love both these shows, but Avatar was only on my list, and Rocky and Bullwinkle was a late addition, so I have to definitely go with Avatar. Clifton, would you mind making it the next voting choice?
I mean, it's got to be Avatar. It's got to be Airbender. But I'll just give some kind shout outs to Peabody and Sherman.
Your choice.
Rocky Bullwinkle used to entertain me when I was homesick for school because Nick Jr. would play it. So it has a special part in my heart, but nothing beats Avatar: Last Airbender. Or very few do, in my opinion, I think. So
And I
Avatar, easy.
thank you for that, Zach. And kind of where this is leading to. So, Frank,
No, it's easy for me. I mean, I understand the importance of Rocky and Bullwinkle, and I enjoyed Peabody and Sherman, but Avatar: The Last Airbender.
clean sweep. Avatar: Last Bender it is. Next up, we have Gummy Bears versus the Dragon Prince.
Ooh,
Oh.
this is like a fantasy matchup.
It feels that way.
Theoretically, they could be set in the same world.
Arguably they could, but unfortunately, only one shall stand. Frank, what's your first choice?
That's tough. Didn't watch a whole lot of Gummy Bears. I know it's important to you, Tommy, but it just wasn't my thing. So I'd have to go with what's the other one?
Dragon Prince.
Dragon Prince, absolutely, Dragon Prince.
One for Dragon Prince. How about you, Zach? What's your choice?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tommy. I gotta go. Like, I'm so impressed with Dragon Prince right now, though, too. It's such an awesome original idea. So, Dragon Prince.
Clifton, what's your vote? So far, 2 for Dragon Prince, none for Gummy Bears.
Again, if it was only based on the theme song, Gummy Bears would win hands down. But I love Dragon Prince. Like, I love the story, man. It's just so well done. So I got to go with Dragon Prince.
You know how I feel about Gummy Bears. But I also love Dragon Prince, and I can't wait to see how it's going to progress for the next season.
Yeah. I think it's
but-
very likely a modern classic already that we're seeing
great.
unfold. Yeah.
But I'm still voting for Gummy Bears. But I'm going to lose. So advancing forward is the Dragon Prince over Gummy Bears, 3-1. Next up, we have Batman Beyond versus Dynomutt and Blue Falcon.
They should just team up.
Yes.
Yes, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Clifton, since you started it off, or since you made the suggestion, what's your vote towards that?
I gotta go Batman Beyond.
One
I
vote for
love,
Batman.
I love Batman Beyond.
I love Batman Beyond
It's
too.
Shui.
My vote also goes to Batman Beyond. Zach, what's your vote?
Yeah, Batman Beyond.
3 for Batman Beyond. And since Frank put Dynamite and Blue Falcon on his list, kind of where this is going.
Either way, you win. I love both of them, but I will go with Dynamite and Blue Falcon.
3-1. Batman Beyond advances over Dynamite and Blue Falcon. Over BF.
Yes.
Next up, we have Motor City versus King of the Hill. Motor City versus King of the Hill. This is going to be a tough choice for some of us. Since you went before, Clifton, I believe I started with you. I'm going to start with Zach this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Motor City. The best show that I never remember happened.
Okay. All right. Frank, can I get a vote for you?
I'm not even sure what Motor City is. Can someone refresh my memory about what the show is?
Motor City was a Disney show that I believe lasted only 2 seasons.
1 season, 20 episodes.
One very long season.
Okay.
In which it was actually, Clifton, you can better describe it.
All I know is that when I read the description in upfronts, I thought it sounded like the stupidest thing I'd ever heard of. But I'm the one who put it on the list, so it is one of my favorite shows. It's set in like apocalyptic future Detroit, where there's a clean city that was built on top of old Detroit for the rich people, and then like down in the undercity is like greaser kids in these hot rod cars that race around. And
Okay.
the animation's done by Titmouse Animation. It's
Okay.
Kei Mikuchi was one of the voices. I'm trying to remember who else is in it, but no, it was just like I loved it. It was great chase scenes.
Isn't Dee Snider in it?
Yeah, Dee Snider is in it,
Oh wow.
From Twisted Sister. Yeah.
So was Mark Hamill, I believe, is in it.
and Mark Hamill's the villain.
So there it is.
Wow.
There it is, Frank. What's
It is a good
Okay,
show.
King-
It's a very good show.
All right. King of the Hill. You didn't sell me. I'm sorry. It sounds wacky, but no thanks.
I'll send you some clips.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
My vote is for King of the Hill, so that's 1 for Motor City, 2 for King of the Hill, correct? Zach, you vote for Motor City, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Clifton?
Oh,
What's
Motor
your vote?
City.
Wow.
I love Motor City. It's so good.
And our wonderful engineer, if he could be so kind as to break this tiebreaker between Motor City and King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
There you go.
Yay! King of the Hill advances because that was on my list. So it's basically it was me versus Clifton. So King of the Hill is the last to advance to round 2.
Wow.
We have now completed round 1. Thank you for those votes, but we have a long way to go to see who's King of the Hill of this category.